Today we're going to talk about ratios. Ratios are simply a pair of amounts or quantities that are being compared. But what do ratios look like on paper? Well, here's a ratio, 3:2. We read it 3:2. And here's a ratio written out in words, 7:4. And here's a ratio, mixed with words and numbers, 4:7. Each of these are a pair of quantities that are being compared. So let's say we have a co-ed soccer team. Co-ed means that there are both boys and girls. And on this team there are 4 times as many boys as there are girls. This means that for every 4 boys on the team, there is also 1 girl. So if this soccer team only has 4 boys, then it must also have only 1 girl, if it's still following the ratio of 4 boys to every 1 girl. Here's what the ratio looks like of the team, 4 boys to every 1 girl. And here's what it looks like written down, 4:1. And here it is written in words, 4 times as many boys as girls, 4 boys to every 1 girl. But what if our soccer team didn't only have 4 boys? What if instead it had 8 boys on the team? How could we make sure that the ratio, 4 boys to every 1 girl, remains the same? Well, here is 4 boys to 1 girl, but notice we have 4 boys left over. Oh, we simply need to add 1 more girl, making 4 boys to 1 girl on the top and 4 boys to 1 girl on the bottom. This whole team has a ratio of for every 4 boys there is 1 girl. But what if the team grew even more? What if there were now 12 boys on the team? Well, we'd need 1 girl to match up with 4 of the boys, and another girl because there are still another group of 4 boys, and yet 1 more girl because there are still 4 more boys. Now look at this. Don't you see 4 boys to every 1 girl? Yes, the ratio is still the same, 4 boys to every 1 girl, which can be written like this, or like this, or again, mixing words and numbers, written like this. And now we know that the ratio 4:1 can even look like this. But what if the ratio was different? What if it was 3 boys to every 2 girls? Would that change our team? 3 boys to every 2 girls? Of course. For every 3 boys now, we need to have 2 girls. So what other combinations could we come up with to make this team have a ratio of 3 boys to every 2 girls? Well, we could simply add another 3 boys, and to make the ratio work, we'd need to add also 2 more girls. Or we can add another group of 3 boys and another group of 2 girls. Either way, the ratio is still 3 boys to every 2 girls. We can also use tape diagrams to illustrate ratios. Here's 3 boys to every 2 girls. Obviously, ratios can be used for many things, such as the members of your family. For instance, what is the ratio of girls to boys in your family? Well, let's take my family for instance. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 girls and 1 boy. Boy, am I outnumbered. So, what's the ratio of girls to boys in my family? 6 girls to every 1 boy. That's the ratio of my family. Let's use lights now. Take a minute, look around the room that you're in. What is the ratio of lights that are on versus those that are off? In my case, as I look around, I see 3 lights that are turned on and 6 that are not. Thus, the ratio of lights that are on to those that are not is 3:6. Let's look around for 1 more ratio. What about the ratio of people that are wearing socks in your house to those that are not? Well, in my house, because it's summer, I look around and see that nobody's wearing socks. So the ratio of people wearing socks to those that are not wearing socks is 0:7. Spend a minute right now being creative and come up with your own ratio. Here's one. As I look at the toys on the floor in front of me, I see that there are 3 zebras to every 4 non-zebras. Thus, the ratio of zebras to non-zebras is 3:4. Look at this ratio. Can you use words to describe something you might know that is represented by the ratio 1:12? One representation would be a year to 12 months. For every 1 year, there are 12 months. Can you think of a ratio that's represented by 12:1? Well, because this is simply the reverse of the ratio we dealt with before, we could say that there are 12 months for every 1 year. And what could this ratio be describing? How about for every 2 days that are a weekend, there are 5 work days or school days? And one last one. What about 10 to 2? What might that illustrate? How about for every 10 toes, there are 2 feet? Okay, now I'm going to give you a description and you're going to come up with the ratio. Sam made 3 times as many baskets as Juan during their basketball practice. What's the ratio? 3 to 1. Sam made 3 times as many baskets as Juan. What's the ratio for this description? For every 6 cups of flour in a bread recipe, there are 2 cups of milk. The ratio described is 6 to 2. So what have we learned about ratios today? Ratios can be written in different ways with numbers or words or a mixture of both. Ratios are simply comparing 2 different quantities. And lastly, that ratios can be found all around us.